I'm really invested in this storyline big time. It's going very good. I like Alexa Bliss being involved in this mix.
Yeah.
Very invested. I don't know where the ending's going to be at. I don't think they're going to take it to WrestleMania, but it's going to be hopefully another month or so. They'll be.
Well, they could. I mean, if they continue the slow burn, they could have it pay off at, because WrestleMania is now 2 nights, so they want to build a really good card.
Oh
and
yeah,
I think
yeah.
Fiend versus Orton in like they'll probably do Inferno match.
Plus they had they already did.
They had an Inferno match.
Well, they had that. That was kind of basically was an Inferno match. Yeah, they had that at the.
Oh, you're right. Okay, well, I don't know how they're going to pay it off more, but it would probably be somewhere with WrestleMania.
I mean, they were at interest with Edge returning this past Monday, or at least having the interview on Raw. It might come into being Edge versus Orton at WrestleMania, but if they can sell off for a while, they could, I don't know what they're going to take with Edge and Randy Orton. If they don't do anything with that or long term or whatnot, if they could do something for a while to do something with Fiend in order it could result in WrestleMania, but I think it's going to end it probably by Fastlane. If they're going to do something with that, if they're going to do the Edge versus Randy Orton match, we'll find out. But very invested in Fiend and Randy Orton's storyline. As we both been, a lot of us have been, listeners have been invested in this along with Alexa Bliss too. So yeah, very excited. See if the Fiend should be returning at the Rumble.
It's a good slow burn story. No pun intended.
I say pun intended had to be.
The other championship match is Sasha Banks versus Carmella, which I've seen a little bit of the Carmella character. I have my own opinion about that. But who are you taking on, Boss versus Carmella?
Got him. I don't know. I usually say the Boss. Usually
that's where I'm at.
And it's like there's a small mix there with Carmel there, I'm thinking, but is something good. She got a little bit of push going on with this new kind of character. And it's like, is it too early and is it developed enough to right now to work to her to be the champion? If she does become champion, how long will that reign last? It's just going to be for a little while. But I'm probably have to go with the Boss in this one. Gotta go.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks, but I'm not totally feeling yet it's right timing, right everything for Carmella to actually win it yet.
Yeah,
but you never know. But I just don't feel like it's quite right on time.
Right. I'm right there on Sasha Banks. I think it's going to be Sasha on this one. I would have to agree with you there, just because it's Boss time. Which, by the way, I'm really tired of Michael Cole saying that. It's Boss time. Okay, come on.
That's vintage Michael Cole, pun intended.
So for the men's Royal Rumble match, now I'm going to tell you what I think might happen, or might be the winner. I actually think Edge might win this. I think Edge might win the Royal Rumble for the men.
I think it's a good possibility. It's I'm kind of 50-50 with that deal, honestly. I really am. I'm not totally behind it. I mean, I get the story behind it and hype. I get it, especially with his great, intense promo he had past week. I mean, right now, top of my mind, top of my head, who else? But they don't really have what I would call, in my viewpoint, they don't really have that person right now that usually the old feeling goes, you can kind of see some options of who would possibly win. Within about at least the past month or so, who has a better chance of winning the Rumble match because they kind of like, who's on top and who's going had the possibility of having a story going to WrestleMania. But I don't see a whole lot of anybody out there right now having that momentum, having that feel. So I think, except for Edge right now with his promo he had. I mean, the other person I wouldn't mind seeing win, I'm a big fan of it, would be AJ, but I don't see AJ right now winning it. But there's not, that going on. So I had to probably go along with you right there, saying Edge, because there's not a whole lot of anything out there going on.
So I think Edge is the one that I think it's going to be most likely. I also think Big E could win it and go on to face Roman at WrestleMania.
That's an option. We talked about that about a month ago.
Yeah. And of course, for those listening, we're not going to compare the picks for the Royal Rumble because it's 30 people.
Yeah.
You're extremely unlikely to get that one right. But I do think they're going to call up a couple NXT guys to fill out the roster spots. There was an advertisement where it was teasing that The Fiend will be there. There's another person that was teased to be there, which was CM Punk. I think that's unlikely. Would I like to see it? Yeah, I would like to see it. I think it would be kind of cool to see CM Punk in there. I actually missed the fact that CM Punk was a really good leader for a lot of factions, and he could do decent work now leading a faction. Wink, wink. But I don't think it's likely Punk will show up.
You just don't really care. I mean, I honestly, I lost a lot of. It's like whatever anymore to me with Punk stuff. It's to where I know a lot of people would like to see him in there, but it's like, okay, he's. In some ways, I don't totally agree with how things kind of went. I mean, I understand the gripe. I do understand the gripe, but it's like he did this, things are not right, but it was kind of more favored him anyway. So I'm like, I just, it's kind of whatever to me. If he comes back, you got other companies to go to as well.
Yeah, I'm a major Punk fan. That's where it comes to play.
I mean, there's things he's done. I like his mic skills and his in ring, so forth, so on. But I'm not going to go straight into the hype, and as what I was going into years ago. But I highly doubt he'll be there. But in the rest of the business, you never say never. So.
I also think a surprise entrant would be Carlito, just because of what they did with the Legends Night, royally messing that one up.
I think so too. What's odd about it is they had their qualifier matches. These guys, it was kind of odd. It's like some people who said, "I'm going to be in the Rumble match," and you had the other ones who said, "Well, you have to qualify now." I'm like, I didn't really care for that too much. It was kind of misleading this year. It was really odd and I think there was reports about that being kind of misleading. Well, these people can say that they're going to be involved because their background, but these people can't say that. I'm like, you have a guy like R-Truth who had to go try to qualify and lost against AJ Styles. I'm like, R-Truth's been there forever. I mean, he's a former world champion, not in WWE, as far as like world heavyweight champion, but
right. NWA.
But just to me, it's like R-Truth's been there forever. He's paid his dues, so why would you make it look like he has to qualify? I mean, if they're going to make that kind of storyline. So I don't totally agree with that. But,
they had the best last year's Royal Rumble for R-Truth, where he announced that he was going to be in the Royal Rumble. And he's like, I'm going to throw you over the rope, Paul Heyman.
Yeah. I remember that
one.
What?
No. Brock is in the match. You're in the match? I officially removed myself from the Royal Rumble.
That was hilarious. Hilarious. R-Truth needs to be in there. He really does. Unfortunately, one of the main people I want to see in that match that pulls off the tricks in the ring will not be in there this year, and that's Kofi Kingston.
Well, John Morrison will be, and he does it too.
He does too. I look forward to him being in there. I just think it's no Kofi.
Actually, I would like to see them compete against each other in that sense of who can stay in longer, John Morrison or Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a shame that Kofi won't be in there, but we'll see. So what's going to happen with Morrison? Hopefully somebody in that match will pull off some Kofi's moves as well as Morrison. Yeah, it's stuff. I believe he's going to be in the Rumble. So,
I just saw that Sami Zayn's going to be in the Royal Rumble.
There you go. He pull off some tactics too.
I'm not necessarily pulling. I would like to see his antics, honestly. And honestly, I'd like to see him get eliminated and him run to a camera and complain about how it's unfair to him.
Yeah. That would be hilarious.
I dig the character.
Absolutely, same here. Love seeing Sami Zayn. I enjoyed him handcuffing himself to that.
The ladder.
Yeah. The barrier there. Yeah, that was great stuff. But I like to see our troops in there, and they'll have some NXT guys. I'm sure. I was looking at the list last time. It was on Monday night, and they only have 16 guys scheduled. The last I looked at 16 guys. At least the Frost side I saw. So I'm sure
they added some. They added some earlier in the day. Corbin, Mysterios, and Strowman were added today on SmackDown.
All right, so I'm hoping they'll probably have a couple NXT guys or so forth,
Mm-hmm.
and hoping they have at least. It would be nice to have at least 2 surprise entrants, Carlito and somebody else. At least it's
Chavo.
Nice. Yeah, it'd be cool too if they had Chavo. I would like to see. It's always nice when you have multiple surprises.
Mm-hmm.
At least 2. It'd be nice to see that. But we'll see what happens.
Well, like you said, I had we talked about before. I had the 2011 Royal Rumble on. It was 100% because that's the one year that Booker T and Kevin Nash came back from TNA.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who else could be a surprise entrance. Hulk Hogan, man.
Oh God, no! Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair show up, and they both break a hip trying to get in the ring.
Better than Nash by pulling his whatever he's done before.
Oh, Christian might show up.
Christian, he could. I mean, why not?
Because I think he was saying he was considering making a comeback after Edge came back. So I mean, if he didn't want to do a full comeback and just wanted to do Royal Rumble, he could.
Yeah, Edge is going to be in there, so why not? That'd be kind of cool. Have Christian be in there.
Chris Jericho.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that happening by far.
Actually, if Vince wanted to be really petty, get Hornswoggle to come out to Chris Jericho's music.
Oh man! Oh yeah, the Hurricane.
Yeah, the Hurricane. I wouldn't mind seeing the Hurricane.
Hurricane could be in there.
I mean, the biggest one that they could possibly do as a comeback. Well, I didn't mean literally the biggest one. The biggest one that they could possibly do, well, besides CM Punk, that would get a lot of attention is The Rock.
That's a long shot, but
oh yeah, super long shot. I don't think it's going to happen, but if that would get a lot of people talking. If you smell, come on over the intercom.
If the Rumble was a bigger match, had different names in there maybe, but I don't think who's in there. But yeah, it's just a big long shot though. But that'd be interesting. Begin also with Adam Pearce.
Wait, isn't he supposed to? Didn't he have a match against Roman Reigns? Was that tonight?
No. That's that happened on SmackDown last week.
Last week, okay. I was still getting caught up.
It wasn't much of a match. He's supposed to wrestle Paul Heyman, but Paul Heyman pulled his old stunt on him, and then the Roman Reigns thing didn't last more than a few minutes, and that's where KO came out and beat the hell out of Roman.